What is up guys, this is Tito back with another video on the Redmi K20 Pro, and today in this video I'm going to be showing you the latest Legion OS on this device. This is how the home screen looks like right now because I changed a couple of things, and here let me first show you the about section. Here as you can see on top we have the Legion OS logo, shows just a L in like some colors, and here the Legion OS version, if you're noticing, it's version 2.11.5. and the build date is 10th September 2020. This is the latest build as of right now, and the security patch is latest of September 5th 2020. The stock kernel is perf G kernel, and then if you notice from the bottom it shows the build number and stuff, and here as you can see it is the GApps included build. There is also a vanilla build if you want to flash that, but I have used the GApps included build over here, and I just flashed it with Orange Fox recovery, and you just need the latest MIUI 12.0.2 vendor if you want to flash this particular ROM as of right now. So let me just show you the settings over here. This is how the settings panel looks like, and on top if you're noticing we have this like one-handed friendly kind of usage, and it shows this part over here just for the settings logo and stuff. You can just scroll and you can straight up go to network and stuff if you want to. So yeah, the settings panel is pretty similar looking as it was looking earlier. I did a couple of videos on the Legion OS earlier too, but right now let me just show you what has been changed in the latest build. Well, the stock launcher is still the launcher. Let me show you the settings over here. If I go into the about section, this is the version of the launcher as you're noticing from here. And on this launcher, of course, it has been the most customizable launcher, at least present on custom ROMs. And here as you can see we have these gesture customizations, and you can set gestures like actions to double tap, touch and hold, home button tap, back button tap, swipe down, swipe up from dock, etc. A lot of things. I have changed the double tap to sleep over here, so it is pretty simplistic that if I double tap over here anywhere on the home screen, the phone just goes to sleep and I can unlock the device right away just like this. So yeah, this is a very handy feature. And talking about more settings, we have the drawer settings, search settings, plugins, dock, etc. A lot of customizations are there even in this desktop customization. Then we can change the themes and stuff if you want to. So yeah, a huge amount of customizations even for the stock launcher is there. And to the left and stuff, of course, we do have this Google's Discover page, and we have the widgets working totally fine here, not a problem. And this Legion OS wallpaper which I have been using is from, let me show you, this L paper app, and as you can see there are plethora of Legion OS wallpapers that you can choose from, and I have been using this one I guess, and you can use anything else from here. So yeah, huge amount of Legion OS stock wallpapers are there too. You can choose from any of these and you can go with any of these. All of them does look really cool on the home screen and even on the lock screen. Now the stock camera is a bit interesting over here because it is the Google Camera Go. I haven't seen it coming with Google Camera Go on any custom ROM for the Redmi K20 Pro. This is the first ROM I have been seeing with the Google Camera Go, and the Google Camera Go I have noticed it like in some ROMs of Redmi Note 5 Pro but not on K20 Pro. I haven't seen this Google Camera Go on this device with coming with a custom ROM pre-installed, but this is the first one. The Legion OS comes with this Google Camera Go, and with this everything is working fine, and even this zooming and stuff as you are noticing is working fine. And this is a basic Google camera I would say, but if you compare it with the Google Camera 7 and stuff, I have installed the Google Camera 7 APK separately. This is the Unix version. I would say if you compare the pictures on both of the Google Camera Go and this one, I would say the Google Camera Go takes the pictures a little bit light shaded, or if you can say like the Google Camera Go's pictures not so much good if you compare it with the Google Camera 7 by Unix or something. So yeah, that's how it is for taking normal pictures and stuff and taking like videos and stuff. It should be fine. I don't know how can you change the video settings or resolution, I don't know, but yeah, you can actually take photos and videos normally with this Google Camera Go, and you can change the settings. We also have this face enhanced option. So with the front camera, I just switched to the front camera. So right now with the Google Camera Go, let's see, right now I do have the face enhanced turned off as you're noticing. Right now if I take a picture, and right now if I take a picture with the face enhanced turned on, so both of these pictures, let's just take a look. So yeah, actually it does work, I think. So here as you can see there are some details, some sweats on my forehead. So yeah, you can actually see those sweats over here on this, and this one was taken with the face enhancement turned off, so that is why you can see all these details over here. And right now if I see with the face enhancement turned on, as you can see it has softened it a little bit. So yeah, you can actually use this feature to use the face enhancement and stuff on the Google camera. So yeah, it is actually working. The face enhanced mode actually works on this Google Camera Go, so that's a good thing. And now let's talk about the quick settings panel. This is how it looks like, and by the way, you can of course swipe down anywhere on the home screen for the quick settings panel and swipe up on the home screen to get to the app drawer and stuff. It is working fine. So here in the quick settings panel, this is how it looks like again, and I have added couple of toggles. Here you can add more toggles if you want to, something more like caffeine, USB tethering, etc. The reboot option is there. Then you can add more things, and I have added the FPS counter and screen recorder too. So let me actually show you. If I enable the FPS counter, here as you can see on the top left of the screen, it does show the FPS right there. So yeah, the FPS counter actually is working. Right now let me just show you the screen recording. This is the OxygenOS kind of screen recorder present by default. So if I go into the settings, you can change the resolution over here up to 4K, and then we have the bitrate up to 24 Mbps, and you can set it to anything like 8, 16, everything. And number of frames you can customize it up to 60 fps, and then we have the audio source changing option to internal or the microphone audio. I have also added some more things like the do not disturb and system themes. So from here I can actually change the theme to pitch black, and let me actually show you with the pitch black theme. This is how the pitch black theme looks like. I would say I have been using it with the pitch black theme, of course, and it has been working totally fine with the pitch black theme, no issues whatsoever. And yeah, you can of course use it with the pitch black thing, but right now I'm gonna stick with light because I'm shooting a video right now. So let me just switch to the settings and let me show you. We have the Legion settings and stuff, so you can go to the Legion settings and go to all the customizations here, but I will show you those later on. Right now let me just show you the battery settings here. This is how the battery settings looks like, and these animations do look really awesome in my opinion. We have the thermal profiles, then we have battery saver option, then battery manager is there, and then we have the smart charging. And on the bottom we do have the screen on time, and then we have the charge cycle completed stuff, and then design battery capacity, current battery capacity, and the battery temperature shows up right here on the bottom. If you're talking about the screen on time, I would say I have been getting about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time over here. Nothing to boast about, but yeah, the battery life is not bad at all over here. You can definitely get a full day of usage with like a full charge every day on this ROM without any issues. And 18-watt fast charging is working flawlessly here, so that is not a problem either. In the display settings, this is how it looks like. Again, the animations looks cool. Dark theme is there, night light auto or adaptive brightness is there, screen timeout is there, then screen attention is there, and auto rotate option is there, 180-degree and stuff is there. Then we have the double tap to wake and dashboard conditions, ambient display and anti-flicker mode is there. This is the DC dimming, by the way. The double tap to wake actually is working fine. In the sound settings, this is how it looks like. We have the vibrate for calls, media call, etc. volume customization, and we do have screenshot sound, touch vibration, etc. disabling option, and the audio direct is there. I have been using it with the youth edition over here, and with my Mi dual driver headphones, the sound quality is just great over here. No problems with the sound clarity on this ROM. And you can also use this hi-fi audio option too if your headphone supports it. And in the system panel, by the way, you do get a system updater, and you can check for updates from here, of course. And right now there is no update. This is the newest update as of right now, and the good thing is the security patch is September 5th 2020, the latest security patch as of right now. So yeah, you are getting latest security patch out of the box here. And we have the front camera LED customization. You can turn off the camera LED if you want to. Then we have the front camera sound effects disabling option. You can set it to any other sound effects, or you can disable that if you want to. Let me go back. The default keyboard right here is Google Keyboard or Gboard, so yeah, that's not a problem. And inside security, we of course have the fingerprint and face unlock, but there is no app lock over here, so that I miss over here. No app locking, at least by default here, but you can of course use third-party apps to lock your particular apps. Right now let me just show you the fingerprint scanner speed from the always on display. Unlocked. Let me show you again from the always on display. Okay, so now it did not unlock. Now it did. And here from the lock screen itself, unlocked. Again, let me show you from the lock screen, unlocked. Now let me switch on night light so that the display turns yellowish. Right now let me just see from the always on display, did not unlock, now it did. Now with the left hand thumb, night light turned on, now it did unlock. And from the lock screen, night light turned on, right hand thumb did not unlock. So yeah, as you can see, it is not unlocking right now with night light turned on. So yeah, when you turn on night light, the fingerprint becomes a little bit weird in my opinion. I have to enter the pin right now, so that sucks. Now it actually unlocked. So yeah, finally it has unlocked with my right hand thumb with night light turned on. Let's see with the left hand thumb, night light turned on, lock screen, did not unlock, now it did. So yeah, the fingerprint scanner with night light becomes a little bit weird on this ROM, that I have noticed even while daily driving, but without night light the fingerprint scanner works fine, not a problem here. Now inside network we do have the Wi-Fi calling over here if you're wondering about that, and as you can see, you can simply turn on Wi-Fi calling. And the stock dialer is the Pixel dialer over here, so this is how it looks like, and it does not have any call recording or something, at least by default I don't see it. And here we do have a video calling option, then the other options, but yes, no call recording option that I'm noticing over here. But the Wi-Fi calling actually does work if you're noticing on the top on the status bar. The Wi-Fi calling signal or the logo did appear, so VoLTE and Wi-Fi calling both are working fine here, and my SIM is a Jio SIM by the way. Now let's jump into the Legion settings, and here we have the customizations, and as you can see, all these animations do look really awesome and cool over here. In the quick settings panel we have the vibrate on toggle touch, then quick pull down system info, data usage in quick setting header, and quick setting drag handle and stuff is there. Settings icon, I had to enable it manually for some reason, I do not know why. When I first booted I could not find this settings icon over here. I could not go into the settings from here, I had to go to the settings from the app drawer. So that is something to mention, that I had to enable this settings icon over here. And we have the brightness icon and brightness controls. But on the quick settings panel, one thing that I miss over here, particularly I would say it first right away, that I did not simply find this option where you just slide on the status bar with a finger and it adjusts the brightness. That feature is simply missing from this ROM. Inside status bar we have the status bar icons and headset Bluetooth extra icons, you can enable that from here. And inside clock settings you can of course customize the status bar clock over here. You can add status bar clock font size, you can adjust it, and then you can change the font style if you want to anything else from here, any other fonts. And of course you can add date, AM, PM and change the size of it, the font of it, everything. And here we have the VoLTE icon and stuff, and here you can change this VoLTE icon to anything else. I did not quite like the Legion default VoLTE icon, and here I've been using this VoLTE ASUS icon. And here we do have the View Wi-Fi icon enabler, and battery icon style is there, so you can change the battery icon to circle, dot circle, etc. But there is no big dotted circle that I could not find. And here we have the battery percentage changing option. This is the position of it, you can change it to inside the icon or next to the icon. Let me go back, we have the battery bar and stuff, Bluetooth battery status, you can enable that. And here inside themes we have the styles and wallpapers, and you can change this preset to anything else, like these kind of clocks over here. They do look really awesome. These are the presets for lock screen clocks, and you can change this. So this is very cool, I would say. You can of course apply them if you want to. And you can customize the grid size and wallpapers of course from here. But there is the LR wallpaper or L paper over here, the Legion OS wallpapers. That app is really cool and it has a lot of wallpapers to choose from. I like that. And here we have the accent and gradient both. If you're noticing on the quick settings panel over here, it has this kind of tint right here. So you can have any color tint, you can just choose the accent color to anything else, and you can choose the gradient picker from here. So yeah, a lot of colors you can choose from, and you can have this dark EY theme over here, so you can choose pitch black or something from here of course. And we have the replace clear all text with a nice button or something. So yeah, it does work. This is the whenever there is a notification, you can clear all from a button which will appear over here. And we have the rounded corners customization, you can change the status bar padding and stuff if you want to. Icon shape, status bar icon, you can change that. And status bar height, I did change it to status bar medium because I have a tempered glass with really huge black borders, it looks weird. So yeah, I did change that. The switch style, you can change that. I have changed it to 1+, I guess. And we have the quick setting header customization, you can add a customized header and you can customize that too. And here we have the quick setting toggle style changing option, you can change it to any kind of toggle style. And we have quick setting tint mode, and you can have this disco mode or something, or random colors if you want to. Then we have the gradient, quick settings, background and stuff. Quick setting header style, you can change it to accent based if you want to. And right now, as you can see, the header over here become accent based. And the blur settings is there. You can customize the blur whenever you're pulling down the quick settings. Inside lock screen, we do have the lock screen charging info. It does appear on the lock screen. The lock screen UI we have, and you can change that. I did change a couple of things over here, like the date size. I have changed it to Q beta pill. And then we have the force fingerprint authentication. This is the most interesting feature over here, I would say, of this ROM. And this is one of the best things that I like over here about this ROM, is that I can directly use the fingerprint scanner after a reboot, which I could not do earlier. And earlier the feature was there, but it did not work. But right now it is working 100% of the time that I have seen with like decrypted storage. If you have decrypted storage, I have flashed the ROM with fcrypt disabler over here. If you have no idea what I am talking about, you can just tap the card right there on the corner and you can flash the ROM with decrypted storage. And I have did that, and right now with this force fingerprint authentication feature turned on, it is actually working. So I can reboot the device anytime and use the fingerprint scanner to unlock the device. I do not have to enter PIN every time I reboot. That is what I'm trying to say here. In the FOD icon picker, we have a lot of fingerprint scanner choosing option, or fingerprint scanner logo choosing option, of course. Let me go back. Of course, we do have the recognizing animation. You can choose from these many options. I have been using it with the MIUI Glow. Looks very cool. And use the wallpaper color for FOD icon, you can choose that, but I did not. And FOD pressed behavior, I have not changed it, and it is set to by default icon usually cyan. And here we have the fingerprint authentication vibration, error vibration, and hide status bar on the lock screen. You can use that if you want to. And inside notifications, we do have the heads up disabling option or customize it. And if we have the charging LED, blink for incoming call, blink for call waiting, hide smart replies and stuff is there. Edge lighting option is there, and you can change the edge lighting color from here too. Let me go back from here. In the gestures, we have the AOSP gestures, and from here I have changed the Android 10 navigation gesture. And as you can see, we do not have any customization for the size of the pill bar changing option over here, so that is a bummer. And you can of course use 2 or 3 button navigation if you want to. And then let me go back. We have the screenshot type, and here as you can see, it is set to take full screenshots, and swipe to take screenshot, I had enabled that. And as you can see, this is the ASUS kind of screenshot gesture. We have long edit and share and delete option over here for the screenshots. And double tap to sleep on the status bar and lock screen as well is working totally fine. Screen off power button toggle torch is actually working fine too. In the navigation bar, we have some like navigation bar customizations, of course. You can invert the layout if you are using 2 or 3 button navigation, of course. Then inside buttons, we have the volume steps. And by the way, talking about volume, this is how the volume panel looks like. And you can just scroll through it and you can adjust the volume of the phone, of course. And whenever you are scrolling on the volume panel, it gives you a little bit of haptic feedback. So yeah, that's how it is. And the expansion looks really cool. The animation looks good. Now inside power menu, here is how the settings looks like, and background filter is there, something like that. And here, as you can see, I have changed it to accent color or something. So that is the reason why it looks blue. And here, as you can see, I have changed it to accent tint, and you can also use this blur. And that is when it looks like this, when you are in the power menu. So yeah, looks very cool. And you can have the power menu reboot opacity and stuff. Then we have the reboot dialog, background, demount and stuff like that. And advanced reboot is of course there, and advanced reboot even for lock screen is there. And by the way, you can directly reboot to recovery or fast boot from the advanced reboot section. So yeah, that is very cool. In the animation section, we have the power menu animation, of course, and here we can change it to glow or something. Like, let me show you. Okay, so this is how it looks like when you set to glow. And we do have the animation duration changing option and disable transition animations, and the whole UI animation customization is there. And inside additional settings, we have the auto enable battery analytic mode is there. And in the audio panel, you can enable ring, notification, alarm, voice or Bluetooth, these kind of things. So if I enable voice, as you can see, the voice thing over here stays like all the time. So yeah, you can have these all the time if you want to. If I enable all of this, this is how it looks like. Not very convenient in my opinion. And if you are wondering about the widevine statistics over here or the DRM info, as you can see, the widevine says L1, the security level shows as L1. So that means you can stream Netflix or Amazon Prime videos in 1080p here without any issues. and it does pass the safety net test as like passed over here. So that means you can use banking apps, and I did set up my Google Pay. It has been working totally fine here. So with banking apps there is no issues right out of the box. Now let me just quickly open some of the apps and show you guys the app opening speeds and the RAM management over here. Now let's open Twitter, Play Store, YouTube. Now let's open Instagram. Now let's open this Google Home. Something else. Okay, so I did open YouTube. Now let's open Amazon. Now Flipkart. Right now, what else can I open? Mayfit. So right now let's just open all of these apps from memory again. Facebook is in memory, Twitter is in memory, Play Store is still in memory, YouTube is still in memory, Instagram in memory, Google Home in memory, Amazon still in memory, Flipkart still in memory, Mayfit is still in memory. So all the apps do stay in memory, so no issues with memory management, at least over here. And whole UI stays very smooth even when you have a lot of apps open. By the way, my Redmi K20 Pro is a 6GB RAM unit. Over here, as you are noticing, all the app stays in the memory, and you can switch between apps just like this. It is very smooth and fluid, no issues whatsoever, even when you have a lot of apps opened. And even while gaming, the UI should stay really smooth, and you can get 60 FPS with most games over here. And this is how the UI is actually working. And if you are willing to see the benchmarks over here, this is Antutu and Geekbench score. This is the Antutu and Geekbench score of this round. So that's been it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel down there if you have not yet. This is Tito from KDN Tech signing off for today, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one. Bye bye now.